Morning from the great city of Omaha, Nebraska. This is the D1 Baseball live stream, day one of the College World Series. I am Michael Patrick Rooney. I am joined by Kendall Rogers and Aaron Fitt. And gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Day one. Let's go. How we doing?
You know what? Hey, Runes, you know what? You know how I know it's going to be a really good College World Series? You made your bed in a hotel.
That's right. Come on now. I mean, otherwise, what do we have if we don't have a made bed? I mean, the whole day
Is that like
is
a
a wrap.
Malvern Prep thing? Like you guys are excellent in everything?
It's not, but I love where your head's at. I mean, maybe we can make it a Malvern Prep thing. So, Fitzy, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing wonderful, Michael. It is It's great to see your face here in
Yes,
Omaha.
it's great to be
And
seen.
Been
how
too
about
long.
this? Yeah, how about this? We get to hang out in person, like real
Yes.
people. This has
So
been
great.
fun.
Yes. So, gentlemen, we are going to do some predictions today. But before we do that, let's thank our sponsors. We have a really cool sponsor for the postseason here. And, for any fans that are in Omaha, this is going to be really cool. We've got the best brands in baseball all under one roof at the Omaha Experience. You can get your hands on limited edition, never before seen products from Wilson, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Evo Shield. It's all located in the Omaha Baseball Village. So you can also, obviously you can order these things as well. So we are really excited to be partnered up with those folks. And we are obviously swagging it up with our Wilson gear. Even got something for the great Jenny Rooney. So J-Ro's going to have some Wilson swag when we get home. So very excited about that.
Yeah, I was excited about these shorts, these Omaha shorts that they have at the Wilson
Nice.
Marini booth over there. Man, they got some awesome swag. I felt like pulling out their credit card and like buying half the store. So head on over there. There's some awesome stuff over there, guys.
That's right. That's right. Those are the two themes so far for yours truly. Is a lot of red meat and a lot of credit card damage is really
Yeah,
what's
no
happening
steak
so
for
far.
me. I think KP put us over the top last night.
Yes, he did. He certainly did. So, gentlemen, let's start doing some predictions. So, game one today will be Stanford versus NC State, the Pack. Looks like we're going to get Brendan Beck versus Reed Johnston. So, Fitzy, why don't I start with you? What are you thinking here? What do you got for us?
It's a great matchup, Rudes. I mean, they all are. I love this field, but this one feels like a real coin toss for me. I mean, we've got two very good offensive clubs. You probably would give Beck the advantage in that pitching matchup, but I just love the NC State offense. I mean, we've talked about it plenty. I don't mean to rehash it all, but they got real studs there, up and down, especially the top half. I mean, they're left-handed. I think that's probably a good thing if you're matching up against Beck. I think you're better suited if you got quality left-handed hitters, and three of the top four guys in that NC State lineup are, with McDonough as a switch hitter, so really all four of them. The guy we hadn't talked about at all is Terrell Tatum. I have a feeling Terrell Tatum is going to put on a little bit of a show out here. That guy's a really fun player. He can run, he can hit for average, he can hit for power. He's had a breakout year. That's my X factor today. Keep an eye on that guy.
Love it. KR, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go with the Pack too. Devontae Brown's had a really good postseason as well for the Pack. But if you look at this ballpark and the way it typically plays, Stanford's a team that hits the long ball. I think when you look at NC State, we talk so much about their pitching, their offense, but I mean NC State's top 5 in the country in fielding. And in this ballpark, if you play really good defense and you don't give teams extra chances, that usually bodes pretty well. So I like NC State in this matchup, but I'm also with Aaron to an extent to where I do feel it's kind of a toss-up. If Brendan Beck throws the way he did against Texas Tech, it's going to be hard for NC State to kind of get its offense going against him. So I'm expecting good pitching all the way around. I just like the balance that NC State has of the defense, the offense. I just think they're a little bit better overall in that regard. So I like NC State.
There you go. So I'm going to pass on a prediction for this one because I am working for the ACC network this week, so I got to be careful there.
You're such a pro.
I know. Such an amateur, really, is what we are, but I appreciate it. But I will say this. One of the things that intrigues me in this game is Brendan Beck, it all begins with the fastball down the way, the 4-spot fastball, as they like to say on the West Coast. And I'm really curious to see if the NC State hitters are aggressive to that pitch. Sometimes you see hitters scoot up on the plate to try and make that pitch feel more like middle. And I wonder if the NC State hitters will dare Brendan Beck to pitch in, because Texas Tech never did that. And certainly Beck is not a one-trick pony. He's got multiple breaking balls that we've mentioned. They're real pitches. I mean, he is not the guy that his curveball and slider conflate into one average pitch. These are two legit separate pitches. But I'm really curious to see if NC State's offensive approach is attack mode on the 4-spot fastball. I'll tell you the other thing for me is, you guys kind of alluded to it, Stanford has gotten very reliant on the long ball as the season has gone on. And so Stanford's power versus the stadium, I'm really curious to see what that looks like. I just watching BP yesterday, I did not get the sense that a bunch of balls are going to run out of this ballpark. But I don't know, like the weather changes on a dime around here. So I'm really, it's a great start to the College World Series. A really cool matchup.
Looking out my window at TD Ameritrade Park, it looks like the wind is blowing toward right field, kind of in right now, which is kind of a typical prevailing wind pattern. So unless that shifts, which it could, I would not expect the ball to fly out of here today.
Yep, interesting. Hey, and the one
weather report.
Yes, how about that, right, KR? I can give you guys a weather report on the highway because that's what my room is looking at. The hashtag tier 5. The yes. I'll tell you guys though, one other thing before we move on to the second game. Man, NC State is so fascinating with that bullpen with Villeman and Justice. It's just it reminds me of way back in the day playing Cal State Fullerton when they had Chad Cordero in the bullpen, where you just felt like, the fifth inning feels like the eighth inning because that dude is just looming in the bullpen. But anyway, we digress. So let's go to game 2. We've got Vandy and we assume Kumar Rocker's going to throw against Arizona and Chase Silseth. KR, let's start with you. What's your take on Vandy versus Arizona?
Well, I think the story in this game for me is Chase Silseth. He's got to give them a really strong start. He's one of those guys that, will be up to 96, 97. Velocity-wise, he'll hang with Kumar Rocker in this game. The question is, can he hang with Kumar Rocker from a stuff standpoint and a command standpoint? That's been, when he's gotten in trouble, that's kind of been his bugaboo, just going in and out with his command. So he's going to have a strong start for them. With that said, even though I really like Arizona's team, it's Kumar Rocker in Omaha. I've got to go with him. Once again, it's like a broken record, but when we're on the big stage, the big lights are on, like, he always steps up, and I have no reason to believe he won't do that yet again. But keep an eye on Arizona, because when you look at their approach against Doug Nikhazy, they drove him crazy running his pitch count up. So the key for Kumar is he's got to throw strikes with that slider down in the zone. If he doesn't do that, things can change dramatically in this game. But I do like Vanderbilt.
Love it. Fitzy, what are you thinking?
Oh, I'm going to roll the dice. You guys,
yes.
I talked about this.
Shoot or shoot.
That's right. Take your shot. I'm a chucker. I'm like a young George Costanza. I'm going to take my shot. Listen, I just really believe in this Arizona offense, and obviously I also believe in Kumar Rocker. It feels so stupid to pick against Kumar Rocker, but I'm not that bright, so I'm going to do it.
I love it.
This Arizona team is just so much fun to watch, and I'm really excited to see what they can do here. I think we're going to have balls, flying all over the gaps and all week when they're here. But today, as we've talked about repeatedly, they just got to drive up Rocker's pitch count. I think they're very good at that. I think they will do that. They got some tough outs here, up and down, and they got to take care of the baseball guys. That's another thing we've talked about a lot. They've done that better in this postseason. We questioned it all year long, but moving Nick McClory to shortstop has been a huge key for this team. They've been much better defensively down the stretch. You've got a freshman catcher who's really grown into that, in Andrew Susak. He's grown into that job, and he handles that pitching staff well. And I just think that their defense is in a much better place right now than it was, 2 months ago.
Yep. I'll tell you that. So I want to start with Arizona first. Best T-shirt in Omaha so far as the teams go. They worked out in this T-shirt that says it's a ball or it's a line drive, and that really is the perfect expression for their offense. There's no like one star anchor in their lineup, and it's maybe there is, but there's so many good players in their lineup. It's almost like they all blend together. It's just like a pack of 9 Wolverines that just attack these pitchers. And I'm really curious what you said, KR. Like, does Arizona run Kumar's pitch count up and kind of make a mess of the Vandy bullpen? Like, that's a very interesting storyline to me. But I will say this, like, when I saw, I had the Super Regional a couple years ago when Kumar he made history, he did make history. And then watching him earlier this year in Stillwater, he's just the persona, the presence. I mean, it's like you go to this big concert and the lead singer takes the stage. It's just different, right? It's just a different vibe. It's different energy. Vandy plays great behind him. So that's interesting to me. I do think the biggest part of this game is Vandy's position player group against Coach Nate Yeskie, and how he's going to run this pitching staff. Because even though Silseth is going to be the starter, I think that's been one of the keys to Arizona, is that Nate Yeskie's so good with the pitching remote control. He's so good at getting guys out of there right before the building burns down. And so, but I do think for Vandy, this position player group, they can't be sleepy today. Like they've got to, I'm thinking 5, 6, 7 runs is really critical, because Arizona's offense, as you pointed out, Fitzy, like that's a real thing. They are a pack of animals. So Wolverines. I'm going Vandy. Yeah, Wolverines. I love me a good Wolverine.
They're a pack of animals, but you're going Vandy, right?
That's right. I'm going Vandy. I'm not betting against Kumar.
You're outnumbered, Aaron.
That's all right. That's how I like it. Take your shot.
Yes, take your shot. So, boys, that's it. Yeah. Good morning, Omaha. This again was brought to us by Wilson. We appreciate their support very much, and we'll do this each morning as we get ready for the day's game. So that's it, gentlemen. We'll see you at the yard.